Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
It's the final Saturday of baseball in this 2018 regular season. We're in San Diego, where the D-backs need a win to assure themselves of a winning record this year. It's game 2 of 3 against the Padres on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Petco Park. Welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume, Bob Renly along the way. Game 161 tonight, and the D-backs look to even this series with San Diego at 1 game apiece. Zach Godley gets the start tonight for the Diamondbacks, Bob, taking one final crack at win number 15 this year.
Yeah, a palate cleanser, if you will, if he pitches a good game tonight for what's been a really bad meal in the month of September. He's 0-4 in the month. His ERA stands just a little bit over 7.5. 2 losses to the Rockies, 1 to the Houston Astros, and 1 to the San Diego Padres, so he owes them.
Well, he's up against rookie Jacob Nix. Diamondbacks faced Jacob Nix here at Petco Park last month. He threw 42 pitches and only got 2 guys out.
Yeah, Diamondbacks fans will probably remember that was the Clay Buchholz complete game that day, and they jumped Jacob Nix early in that ball game. It was 5-0 before he knew what hit him.
D-backs need a win here to assure themselves a winning season in 2018. First pitch is coming up on Fox Sports Arizona. D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By BJ's Restaurant and Brewhouse. Visit bjrestaurants.com to find a location near you. By the NASCAR Can-Am 500 at ISM Raceway, November 9th, 10th, and 11th. By the Hot Bike Tour. Visit hotbikeweb.com and join the ride. And by your Valley Honda dealer, where you'll get more standard features for less money. Home run. Score free Jumbo Jacks only at Jack in the Box. By Chaz Roberts, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By First Watch, the Daytime Cafe. And by Gila River Hotels and Casinos. The card by Gila River Casino earns you rewards 10 times faster than ever before. Sign up for the card today. We are down to our final 2 games of the 2018 regular season. Diamondbacks and Padres from San Diego. And the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Jody Jackson with you. Clear skies, very comfortable 74 degrees. D-backs need to win one of these final 2 to clinch a winning record for the year. It would be the first time in a decade they've had consecutive winning seasons. Here's the Diamondbacks lineup tonight, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
John Jay will lead it off out in center field, followed by Eduardo Escobar at third base. Ketel Marte in the 3 spot tonight, playing shortstop. David Peralta will be out in left field. Daniel Descalso filling in for Goldie at first base. Socrates Brito out in right field. Ildemaro Vargas at second base, with Alex Avila doing the catching for right-hander Zach Godley.
Your Ram Truck starting pitcher for the Padres, rookie right-hander Jacob Nix, only 22 years old, and just 8 big league starts under his belt. His second career start came against the D-backs here at Petco Park last month, and he did not survive the first inning.
Double, walk, 3-run homer, single. He did get an out and then walked a man and gave up a 2 RBI single to Alex Avila. That was pretty much the end of the day for Jacob Nix. Just could not get his feet underneath him against the D-backs that day.
E.D. Marshall Jewelers gives us a look around the diamond at the Padres defense.
Big Hunter Renfroe out in left field tonight. Manuel Margot will be in center. Franmil Reyes in right field. Corey Spangenberg at third base. Ave Guerra at shortstop. Freddie Galvis moves over to second base tonight with Eric Hosmer at first. Veteran A.J. Ellis behind the plate for right-hander Jacob Nix.
Gabe Morales is our plate umpire tonight, calling the balls and strikes. Shane Livensparger is at first base. The crew chief Jerry Meals is at second, and a late change. Ed Hickox is not the third base umpire tonight. He's been replaced by Sean Berber. Time, Bob, for your Valley Honda dealers' key to the game.
Well, even though it would just be for the last 2 games of the regular season, it'd be nice to get in sync. We've seen some well-pitched games where the offense just didn't score, or well-pitched games and they scored some runs, but they played shoddy defense. like to put it all together for these last 2 ball games like they did in the month of April, just so you've got good memories going into the offseason.
Yeah, 81 and 79 right now. You certainly don't want to get swept all 3 games here to close out the season and finish with a .500 record. John Jay, the center fielder tonight. A.J. Pollock is off. And he leads us off, 270 and 3 home runs. Jay lined out to center field as a pinch hitter in the 13th inning last night. We went 5 hours and 2 minutes before Freddie Galvis's walk-off in the bottom of the 15th. Here's a good breaking ball from Jacob Nix. Nix, low to mid-90s fastball. He's had good command at the minor league level. This is hit to Javi Guerra at shortstop. Galvis is the second baseman tonight, 1 down. Eduardo Escobar, 271, 23 home runs.
Talk about Jacob Nix coming off a real bad start against the Dodgers last time out. 2 1/3, gave up 6 hits and 6 runs in that ball game. For that matter, he's really only pitched 2 good games here at the major league level this year.
Escobar jumps on the first pitch, a fastball, pops it up to Guerra at shortstop, and quickly 2 down. And that was at Dodger Stadium a week ago tonight. Lasted less than 3 innings.
Through 6 innings of shutout ball in his first major league start against the Phillies back on August 10th, and had another good start, 8 1/3, gave up 1 run on 8 hits against the Mariners, but every other time out he's been banged around pretty good.
Ketel Marte, who batted in the leadoff spot last night, batting 3rd tonight, no Goldie. And he looks at a fastball down low for a ball. Marte, a couple of hits. He walked twice last night. Doubled and scored a run. He's had a terrific finish to the year. There's that slow curveball from Nix. That's his best, probably secondary pitch. And he's got a pretty good changeup. He'll vary the velocity level on that changeup. It's got some vertical drop to it, so the changeup will actually look a lot like a curveball. That's smothered at first by Hosmer. Nix gets over there, and he's in time to get Marte. They want to have a look in the Diamondback dugout. Looking to close the year as a 15-game winner. He's lost 4 consecutive starts, looking for some better control. Only 3 pitchers in the league have walked more batters.
Yeah, 3 last time out, 6 to start before that, and 2 in each of the 2 starts to start the month of September. Just has really had trouble commanding anything consistently, and we all know how important it is for him to command that curveball.
Padres batting order tonight presented by your Valley Chevy dealer.
Freddie Galvis leading it off, playing second base this evening. Franmil Reyes will be out in right field. Eric Hosmer at first base. Hunter Renfroe out in left field. Corey Spangenberg playing third base tonight. A.J. Ellis doing the catching with Manuel Margot in center. Bobby Garrett shortstop, and Jacob Nix, the right-hander, on the mound.
Well, last night's walk-off hero, Freddie Galvis, leads it off for the Padres. Galvis last night had a base hit. He was the Padres' first at bat of the ball game, and then he was their final at bat. This walk-off double that won it in the 15th inning. Bobby Garrett scored all the way from first. This is out to right field. Socrates Brito is right there, one away.
Galvis had the big hit, but it was the walk to Garrett to start the inning that really paved the way for the Diamondbacks' loss last night.
Here's the D-backs defense presented by E.D. Marshall Jewelers.
Left to right, it'll be Peralta, Jay, and Brito across the outfield. Escobar and Marte on the left side of the infield, with Vargas and Descalso on the right side. Alex Avila doing the catching for right-hander Zach Godley.
Franmil Reyes, the big power-hitting right fielder. Bats in the two-hole tonight. Descalso, the only defender on the right side of the infield. Vargas, the second baseman, over behind the bag, and quickly two down for Zach Godley. Brings up Eric Hosmer. Hosmer hitting .249. He's got 17 home runs. Dodgers have won at San Francisco 10-6. Despite the fact the Giants knocked Clayton Kershaw around just a bit. Kershaw 5 runs, 8 hits. He lasted only 5 innings. But the Dodgers scored a whole bunch of runs late in that ball game against the San Francisco bullpen. The Rockies home again tonight against the Nationals. That's John Gray for Colorado, Steven Strasburg for Washington. Right now the Nationals have an early 2-0 lead.
Cubs lost to the Cardinals earlier today. The Brewers lead the Tigers 5-4 in the 6th inning.
It's the race for the NL Central and that second wild card spot. Dodgers in pretty decent shape right now. Hosmer ahead, 2 balls and 1 strike. Wade Miley is on the mound for Milwaukee tonight at Miller Park against Detroit. Look out, Zach. That one bounces by Vargas into center, a 2-out single. A ground ball off the bat of Hosmer. He does that an awful lot. Brings up one of the Padres heroes from last night, Hunter Renfroe. He crushed a first pitch fastball from Archie Bradley as a pinch hitter last night with 2 outs in the 12th. That tied the game at 2.
I think fans would be interested to find out that since August in the major leagues, Hunter Renfroe has the second most home runs in all of baseball. Only Christian Yelich has hit more home runs since the beginning of August. How about that?
Yeah, Renfroe, his home run last night, his 9th home run in September. He's hit 19 of his 26 home runs since the All-Star break. Leading the Padres in homers and runs batted in.
They won last night, landed out there in a cup of noodles or whatever that thing is out there in the second deck.
It was an absolute rocket.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was. I mean, Renfroe's a guy who's always up there hunting for fastballs. And Archie missed his spot with his first pitch fastball by about 3 or 4 feet, and Renfroe did not miss it.
Noodle soup with at least 1 meatball.
Let's see what you did there. 2-0. Corey Spangenberg, the third baseman, would be next. Godley The 2-out single of Hosmer now behind on Renfroe, 3-0. Here's the cutter in for a strike. Zach, a loss to the Rockies on Sunday, although he kept Colorado to only 2 runs on 6 hits in 5 innings. D-backs were shut out 2-zip. He got the loss, his 4th in 4 starts this month. Fastball misses low. A couple of 2-out base runners ahead of Spangenberg now. Zach got the loss, although he certainly pitched better than his 2 starts prior to that when he was hit hard at Colorado and at Houston. Some work to do here to get out of the first. Spangenberg, 229, 7 homers.
And walks definitely have been an issue for Zach Godley in the month of September. 17 2/3 innings pitched coming into play tonight. He'd walked 13 opposing batters.
Yeah, it's been a rough finish for Zach Godley. No pitcher in the major leagues has thrown more wild pitches. No pitcher in the National League has hit more batters. Hosmer's at second, Renfroe's at first. Big cut at that curveball, and it's 0-2. Zach is averaging just over 4 walks for every 9 innings pitched this year. His walk percentage places him top 5 in the majors. So that'll certainly be a point of emphasis for him in the offseason.
Now, on the upside, Zach Godley's been really good this year with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, a situation he finds himself in right now.
And back to the curveball. Spangenberg strikes out. Godley strands 2. We've played 1 in San Diego. No score. Home run off Jacob Nix. Our Indeed player resume, he's been very good against right-handers this year.
He's been very good against everybody, but especially against right-handers. Only Christian Yelich has a higher batting average. Pretty good list to be on right there.
Peralta leads off the second against the rookie right-hander. David batting .295.
Christian Yelich, by the way, is 1 home run short of the National League lead in homers, 3 RBIs short of the National League lead in RBIs, and he's leading the league in batting average. So an outside chance of a Triple Crown winner if he has a big day tomorrow.
Peralta 30 homers, 87 RBIs leads the team. He's got a great chance, Yelich, at the National League MVP award. Nix quickly ahead 0-2. Jacob Nix coming off a 7-pitch first. Last time he faced the Diamondbacks, he threw 42 pitches in the first and did not survive the inning. Pretty pick there by Hosmer. Nix gets over there. They get all tangled up with Peralta. One down in the second.
Couple of 3-1s there. One by Marte to end the first inning, and now here David Peralta leading off the second. Pitchers back in the day were always taught to try to stay in fair territory. Get over to the base, touch the base with your right foot if possible, and stay in fair territory so you don't get in that runner's way. But that time Nix crossed the line and they got a little tangled up.
Goldie gets the night off. Descalso at first base, 235. 13 homers for Daniel, 57 knocked in, both career highs. Descalso struck out as a pinch hitter last night. And he has been scuffling as of late, just 3 for his last 32 up there. It's this one in the air, deep to left center field. And that ball's off the base of the wall. Descalso pulls into second, a stand-up double.
Timing is everything. You hit that same ball last night with Travis Jankowski in left and Manuel Margot in center. It might get run down, but Hunter Renfroe looked like he was running in quicksand out there in left field. He didn't make up any ground on that ball at all. Hits the bottom of the wall out there in left center. Daniel Descalso on with a one-out double.
Socrates Brito, the right fielder tonight. Fastball's a strike. Brito grounded out as a pinch hitter in the 11th inning last night, 176 on the year. This could be a good matchup for the D-backs tonight. Jacob Nix has struggled at times getting lefties out consistently. We just saw Descalso take him deep to the wall in left center.
Boy, he likes that straight changeup. You talked about it earlier. Has a lot of downward movement. Occasionally it looks like an overhand curveball with the break that it takes and the velocity that he throws it, but it's a straight changeup.
A.J. Ellis, the veteran backstop, out there to have a word. Socrates homered and walked in his start in right field Wednesday in the win over the Dodgers. And getting a look here in the final week of the regular season. And lay off the high fastball, and it's 1-2. Socrates with AAA Reno this year hit .318, 17 home runs. A.J. Ellis wants it upstairs again. He caught the corner, but Ellis had to lower the glove so much that Gabe Morales says ball 2. There was that changeup again, left it in a bad spot. Tried it down and away that time. Brito just did get a piece. This is a situation in which Nix has struggled this year. He's had trouble putting hitters away consistently in these 2-strike counts. Good example of it right there. The low fastball. The pitch count goes way up, and sooner or later he's coming out of the game early. These at bats get extended, one foul ball after another. Look out.
That extended screen just saved somebody. That was a bullet that time, headed for the first 3 or 4 rows down that right field line, but the protective screen saved him.
That curveball is really Nix's best and almost only breaking ball. He's pretty much been a 3-pitch guy lately. Fastball, curveball, changeup. Fastball misses away. Good at bat by Brito here. He's worked it full 3-2. Spoiled some good 2-strike pitches. Ildemaro Vargas on deck. Fastball misses upstairs. Brito works a 1-out walk. Vargas getting the start at second base tonight. Ildemaro 2 for 15 this year. Of course, had that huge pinch hit RBI single Tuesday in the win over LA. He's got Descalso at second, Brito at first, and 1 out. First pitch swinging, bounces it by Galvis. It rolls into right field. Descalso is home. Brito into third. RBI single for Ildemaro Vargas, and the D-backs take the early lead.
Very well placed ground ball that time to sneak it through that right side. We've seen Hosmer come off the bag to make a couple of nice plays on grounders. We've seen Freddie Galvis make diving stops at shortstop, but neither one of them can get to that ball as it sneaks through into right field, driving home Daniel Descalso with the first run of the game.
And the Diamondbacks scored 2 runs last night, one on a pass ball, the other on a sacrifice fly. So they get a run with a base hit for the first time in the series. Here's Avila, the catcher. 162 and 7 home runs.
Now these two teams last night in that 15-inning game combined to go 0 for 21 with runners in scoring position.
That's how you wind up playing 5 hours and 2 minutes.
Isn't it?
That one gets to the screen, and here comes Brito. It's 2-0 Diamondbacks. A wild pitch charged to the rookie Jacob Nix.
Short curveball near the feet of Alex Avila. No chance for A.J. Ellis to shift over there and get in front of that one.
So we've scored 4 runs in the series, only one of them on an actual base hit.
It doesn't matter how you get them on the plate, just get them on the plate.
So Vargas at second, still only 1 out, 2 runs in, 1-0 on Avila, with the pitcher Godley on deck. Fastball is low. That was a good sequence there for Socrates Brito. Very good at bat, was behind in the count, worked it full, took the walk. Went first to third on the base hit, scored on the wild pitch.
Really good at bat.
This is Alex Avila's first action in a full week. Last time he was in a game was last Saturday against the Rockies. He had a base hit in his start behind the plate. He's worked pretty well this season, certainly lately with Zach Godley. Godley's numbers with Avila back there much better than with anyone else for whatever reason. Boy, Nix keeps missing up with his fastball. He cannot throw it for a strike. And it's a 4-pitch walk to Avila. Second walk in the inning. So 2 on, 1 out for Zach Godley. Does have 8 sacrifice bunts this year. Jay, the on-deck hitter. Corners for the Padres come in. Spangenberg at third. Here comes Hosmer from first. Wheel plays on. Godley bounces it to shortstop. Guerra to second. They get the force on Avila. That's it.
What a weird looking play that was. Both corners charging. Zach Godley did what you're supposed to do. If it's a low percentage attempt to put that bunt down, pull the bat back and take a hack at it. Had Padre defenders all over the field. Thought it might sneak through that left side. But Guerra right there, he doesn't know where to throw it once he got the ball. Galvis was a long way from the bag at second, but they are able to get the one out on Avila at second base.
It's funny, Guerra was breaking to cover third, and Godley hit him right in stride with that ground ball. So they had the easy play at second. So they're on the corners now, 2 outs for Jay, who grounded out to lead off the ball game. There's his strike. John Jay now 82 games with the Diamondbacks since his trade from Kansas City, so basically half a season. He's hit .239 with the Diamondbacks. Another fastball way up. Nix just cannot get that ball down. If he's trying to elevate it intentionally, he's putting a lot more on it than he needs to. Margot in center is shaded way over toward left center field. Reyes well off the line in right, and that's exactly where Jay hits it. Margot in perfect position. Diamondbacks take the early lead. They lead the Padres 2-0.
With a 2-0 lead now, and so when these guys have an off day in San Diego, you can find Zach Godley and Andrew Chafin out on the water. They love to go fishing. They did it a couple of years ago out here in San Diego, and Zach tweeted this after that off day. Great last off day of the season out there with Big Country 1739. That's Andrew Chafin on the left and some friends, and they told me that they caught about 60 tuna and they kept about 23 of them. But I said, guys, I know that's not easy, right? And they said, no, it's a workout. But they had a great time out there. And Bob, I know you're not big on the ocean fishing, but it looks fun, doesn't it?
Yeah, when you're catching fish, it's fun. What's the limit?
60 tuna? And what did they do with the 23 tuna that they kept? Are they in the clubhouse? I mean, what's going on with that?
Put them under their bed in the room back at the hotel.
That's a great question, but I hope not. Maybe they sent them out, you know, sent them back home.
You can do that, right?
Yeah.
Box them up.
Whole lot of tuna salad.
A.J. Ellis leads off the Padres second against Zach Godley.
Well, I went out in the Bay a couple of years ago here in San Diego on an off day and spent about 6 hours out on the water and caught one fish that was about the size of my index finger.
I think you went out there with, if I recall, some of your staff members,
yeah.
and it was not a great experience. Escobar has it at third.
I'm not lying. The bait we were using that day was bigger than the fish I caught.
Pulls Descalso off the bag.
Plenty of time. Escobar shoots it across the field and hit Descalso right in the glove. Boy, he tried to recover quickly enough. I don't think he got to it in time. Grabbed it with the bare hand with the foot on the base, but Ellis had already crossed the bag.
So E3.
It's close.
They're having a look in the D-backs clubhouse. Torlavello checking in now with Gabe Morales. Here comes the crew chief Jerry Meals from second base.
Yeah, how do you determine when he actually has possession of the baseball when you're reaching out for it with a claw, trying to grab it with the bare hand? I'm not sure how they'll determine when Daniel actually had possession of the baseball.
They are going to challenge the out call, or pardon me, the safe call at first. And the headsets will go on.
Yeah, this may not seem like a big thing to fans at home, but for players, you grow accustomed to certain gloves. And Daniel Descalso, being a utility guy, he has a glove to play third, a glove to play second, a glove to play outfield. And the first baseman's mitt is probably the one he's used the least throughout the course of his career, and it makes a difference. The pockets are in different places of the glove. He just closed up the mitt too soon that time.
Well, I know we'd like to have the error taken away, but for the moment, he's got to relive the play being shown over and over and over on this beautiful video board they have here. So there's just a small indignity involved. Andy Green out there checking in with Gabe Morales, our plate umpire. Godley will throw some warm-up pitches.
Daniel started 28 games at first base in his career. He's played over there in 60 games, part of double switches or pinch hit for the first baseman or whatever the case may be. He's found himself over there 60 different times, but I guarantee you if you ask him, how do you feel about that first baseman's mitt? He'll tell you that's not good.
It's quite different from the infielders.
Oh, sure. I mean, we saw it last night. I made a half-hearted defense of Franmil Reyes when he didn't throw the ball home to get Ketel Marte. I don't think he had a grip on the ball in the glove.
Well, the D-backs win the challenge, and he is out at first. That's a 5-3 putout. Take the error off the board and off the Descalso resume. So it worked out for Daniel. And they get Ellis at first. Margot, the hitter. D-backs win the challenge. And well, Margot, the center fielder.
Good on Daniel for having the wherewithal to keep the foot on the base as he was scrambling after that ball.
That's a great point. Because I'm sure there's a moment of absolute panic there.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just want to dive on it like a hand grenade or something.
You know, there's just a little bit of sun coming through the third base side of the field, and Daniel was communicating across the infield with Escobar. I'm not sure if the sun had anything to do with his inability to catch that throw, but they were talking back and forth, and Daniel was shading his eyes and pointing to different spots.
Yeah, it's coming through the walkway opening, whatever you call that.
Yeah, he's looking right into it.
It's almost like Coors Field in Colorado right now.
There you go.
And he was motioning to Escobar, a downward motion, keep your throws down. And the same thing to Marte at shortstop. Got the call on the fastball, and it's 2-2 on the Padres center fielder. Margot 0 for 4 last night. Avi Guerra, the shortstop, on deck. Here's Ketel Marte. Descalso's got that one. 2 outs.
You talk about that sun at Coors Field, and we've talked about it for years and years. Todd Helton, when looking across the diamond into the sun, used to tell his third baseman, throw me one-hoppers. Keep the ball low. Skip it to first base until that sun goes down.
Here's Javi Guerra, just turned 23 on Tuesday. 1 hit in 16 plate appearances. And he played a key role in the ball game last night. That walk wound up scoring the winning run on the Galvis walk-off. That's already 4 ground ball outs for Godley, who leads it 2-0. D-backs have a 2-0 lead on the Padres. WWE's Royal Rumble is coming to Chase Field January 27th of next year. Tickets go on sale Friday, October 12. And if you're interested in securing a suite for the Royal Rumble event, now is the time, fans. Call the D-backs suite sales staff at 602-462-4600 or log on to dbacksevents.com. Eduardo Escobar leads off the third against Jacob Nix. Sadly, that event will not include Tito Santana or Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Ooh, good pull there.
That was back in the glory days. Escobar yanks that one down the line foul. Change up the Knicks left up there.
I believe he has a foreign object.
Remember George the Animal Steel would always start to eat the turnbuckle? 2-2.
Big time wrestlers don't get a lot of meal money, so he's a little hungry.
Apparently not. Remember there were always guys that made their living on that circuit back in the day as the opponent.
The bad guy.
And, well, no, just sort of the general tomato can guy. There was always a guy named Steve King. And he would he would get his brains beat out, twisted into a pretzel every week. Never won a match. That one drops into left center, a base hit for Escobar.
Oh, Washington Generals
yes.
of the professional wrestling world.
HBO did a terrific documentary earlier this year on Andre the Giant. It was fun to watch some of the old clips. Marte 0 for 1. He's the shortstop today.
Marte in that 3-hole tonight. Now, granted, a very, very, very small sample size. Only 8 previous at-bats in that 3-hole, but he was 4 for 8.
He's really hit the ball well lately. Nick's already at 40 pitches here. 23 strikes. Up the middle, got right by him. Guerra, nice pick behind the bag, and he turns 2. There's the rookie Javi Guerra. Quickly 2 down.
Doesn't get much easier than that. Hard ground ball off the mound, right up the ramp. A nice, easy hop for Guerra. Takes it himself and fires on to Hosmer to complete that double play. Room service double play that time.
Peralta grounded out his first time. That curveball sails on Nix, 1-0. David last night singled, walked, he struck out 3 times. He homered off Nix here last month. Squib shot Tapper back to the mound. Bottom third on the way. D-backs lead it 2-0.
The Padres 2-0. Time to take a look at this day in baseball history. Brought to you by Geico. Definitely a San Diego feel to this legacy moment. Back in '07, the Padres are 1 out away from clinching a playoff berth, but they lose to the Brewers when Trevor Hoffman gives up a pinch hit triple to Tony Gwynn Jr. working in the booth next door to us tonight. As a matter of fact, Trevor Hoffman used to babysit for Tony Gwynn Jr. when he was just a curtain climber.
Ouch.
Yeah, they lost that ball game. They went on to lose the next day, and then a 1-game playoff loss to the Rockies.
Working Padres radio just to our left with the great Ted Leitner. Bottom 3, the pitcher Jacob Nix leads it off against Zach Godley. Jacob Nix, it says on the fun fact board, enjoys pineapple on his pizza. How do you feel about that as our resident pizza expert?
I don't mind it once in a while. A little ham and pineapple, Canadian bacon and pineapple. Yeah, it's almost dessert pizza, but I like it all right.
He's a native Californian, Jacob Nix. Might be a regional thing. No, he didn't, says Shane Livensparger. It's 2-2. Avila is the master of that kind of back pick on the wild pitch in the dirt. Just kind of scoops it like a first baseman or a shortstop. Full count on the pitcher, 3-2. Drop the hammer in there. There's the curveball. Godley gets his second strikeout. He set down 5 in a row. Freddie Galvis, the leadoff man, flied out his first time up tonight. Galvis making only his 5th start this year at second base for San Diego. They're getting another look at Javi Guerra at shortstop tonight. So Galvis playing in his 324th consecutive game. Galvis in his last dozen games hitting .440. 10 extra base hits during that span, including a couple of home runs. Had the double that won it in the 15th inning last night. Galvis's first walk-off hit in a Padre uniform, the 5th of his career. Switch hitter batting from the left-hand side. Good fastball right at the knees. It's 2-2. Franmil Reyes on deck. Nice high one hopper for Ildemaro Vargas. Another ground ball out for Godley, who set down 6 in a row. That's 5 ground ball outs for Zach. And here's Reyes, who grounded out his first time. Reyes last night singled, walked twice, struck out 3 times. .280 on the year, big power, 16 homers. Probably falling off the mound, taking a tumble there. 0-1. StatCast AI powered by AWS. There's the spray chart on Franmil Reyes, and the defense lined up accordingly. This one off the end of the bat goes the other way, and it's foul. Padres 30 games under 500. They're 65-95. Last in the National League West, 25 games behind Colorado. Rockies are trailing Washington right now 5-1. They're in the 4th inning. Dodgers 10-6 winners earlier today at San Francisco. A ground ball. Escobar has got it in the hole at 3rd. And Godley has set down 7 straight Padres. He holds a 2-0 lead. Built for Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. John Gray, another big start for the Rockies and another rough night Not getting a whole lot of help from his defense out there. The Washington Nationals have a 5-1 lead at Coors Field. They're in the 4th inning after the Dodgers scored a whole bunch of runs late and beat the Giants in San Francisco. So it looks like, well, they'll be tied, right? Going into the final day, is that right? No, I got to check that. Hold on. Here's Descalso, leads off the top of the 4th inning. Yeah, right now the Dodgers are only a half game back. If the Rockies lose, both Colorado and LA will be 90-71 with 1 game to play. So the Dodgers can still win the National League West. Both Colorado and LA have clinched at least a wild card berth. Brewers and Cubs have also clinched playoff spots, as has the Atlanta Braves. Well, Nick's having trouble with command. That was his calling card in the minors, but he's walked 3 so far tonight. Descalso's aboard for the 2nd time. Brings up Socrates Brito. He walked his first time up.
If you're looking forward to tomorrow's ball games, the Nationals and Rockies, TBA for both starting pitchers in that ball game. The Dodgers are scheduled to have Walker Buehler pitch against Andrew Suarez from the Giants. But under the circumstances, it's all hands on deck tomorrow.
Well, the Cubs 94-67 atop the NL Central. If the Brewers can beat the Tigers tonight, and right now they're trailing, no, they're tied 5-5. If the Brewers can beat Detroit, they will be 94-67. How about that? So you could have 2 teams tied for the NL West lead, tied for the NL Central lead with 1 game to play.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's pretty cool.
I wish we were one of them.
Yeah, that's true. That hurts. 0-1 on Brito. So then the loser in the Central in terms of not winning the division, and the loser in the West in terms of not winning the division will get the 2 wild card spots. Either the Cubs, Brewers, Rockies, Dodgers. That one is in the glove of Guerra at shortstop. He's looked awfully smooth down there. The rookie takes a base hit away from Socrates Brito. He turned a nice double play all by himself in the 3rd. Snags that liner here in the 4th. Brings up Ildemaro Vargas, who had an RBI single his first time up tonight. Vargas at second base. Fastball's a strike, 0-1. Vargas at second. He made over 100 starts at shortstop with AAA Reno this year. Although second was his primary position with the Aces last season. That one takes a high hop on A.J. Ellis. Back to the screen. Descalso moves up. Another wild pitch charged to Jacob Nix. He had a wild pitch that brought home a run in the 2nd. Vargas
Cross up that time.
Boy, Nix, you know, he's only 22, but it seems like he's got a ways to go with his development. Some rough edges here.
Yeah, Ellis, he was going to make a trip out to the mound after getting crossed up on that last pitch, but instead he just pointed at the scoreboard, which tells me right away, watch Ellis react.
Yikes. Duck and cover.
And he was going to go to the mound, but instead he just pointed at the scoreboard, which tells you they're using either the count or the outs to determine which sign in the sequence are they going to actually use.
Change up in the dirt that time. It's 2-2.
In my brief time with the Toronto Blue Jays, they used a system called ABE, ahead, behind, even. If the pitcher's ahead in the count, it's the first sign in the sequence. If he's behind in the count, it's the second sign. And if it's an even count, it's the third sign. ABE.
Wouldn't that be easy to steal the signs after a while?
Well,
this ball is hit deep to right field, and it is gone. Ildemaro Vargas. And the D-backs open up a 4-0 lead.
Bomb squad at it again here tonight in San Diego.
That is the first career Major League home run for Ildemaro Vargas.
Oh, came on a belt-high center-cut fastball. Vargas hasn't hit enough home runs to know whether it was gone or not, but that ball hit off the back wall that used to be the home run fence.
He's 2 for 2. He's knocked in 3 runs. Free Jumbo Jack tomorrow at Jack in the Box with a purchase of a large drink. Brings up Alex Avila. Padres will put 3 infielders on the right-hand side. It's been a big year for Vargas. Had a 35-game hitting streak in AAA. And tonight in San Diego gets his first Major League home run. Guerra clanks it, tried to make a nice sliding pick. Avila just does make it up the line safely. They rule that an infield single.
The ball was hit hard, but it's right at the shortstop. Tried to play it on a short hop and smother it, deflects it over. They still almost got Avila at first base. That'll go as an infield hit for Alex.
Alex, with all the foul tips he's taken time and time again, not moving all that well. Godley tries to get a bunt down, pops it up to first. So 2 down now. Avila's at first, and the batter is John Jay, who's 0 for 2. Ildemaro Vargas, all smiles, and why not? Jay has grounded out, flied out, 0 for 2. Once again, Manuel Margot shaded well over toward left center field, and Reyes well off the line in right. Grounded to second. Galvis from the outfield grass. Ildemaro Vargas, a 2-run homer, his first career Major League home run. He's knocked in 3. It's 4-0 Diamondbacks. Vargas's first career home run from the right field seats. It's made it 4-0 Diamondbacks. The stage is set. The lights are on. Baseball's next generation is set to chase the October crown. The Major League Baseball postseason begins October 2nd. You can get the full schedule at MLB.com/postseason. And here's a look at where things stand right now. It is our Sun State postseason update. The Dodgers won at San Francisco. The Rockies are trailing Washington right now. We could wind up, if the Brewers beat the Tigers, with ties in both the Central and the West for the division lead with 1 game to go. How about that? That is the gentleman who caught Ildemaro Vargas's first Major League home run, and security's tracked him down, and hopefully we can make a deal. Get the baseball back for Ildemaro Vargas.
He's holding that ball hostage right now. Hopefully his demands won't be too high.
Hopefully it's not like that Red Sox banner. When those 2 boneheads from Boston tried to extort the Red Sox. My man here crossed 3 lanes of traffic, put in the car. I'll give you this baseball for what's behind curtain number 2. That one is down the line, foul. Zach Godley now facing Eric Hosmer, leads off the 4th. Godley's retired 7 straight. He's thrown 40 pitches, 25 strikes. He's got 6 ground ball outs already, which is a very good sign for Zach. Ooh, that one just off the corner just a bit. Curveball. Hosmer able to check. It's 2-2. When Zach Godley runs into trouble, it's generally after the 3rd inning. His ERA this year in innings 4 through 6 is almost 7. 6.75. It's the worst in the major leagues. He has been outstanding this year the first time through the batting order, and we've seen that again tonight. But by the time he begins working through the opposing lineup for a 2nd and 3rd time, that's when he generally has some problems. Marte is there at shortstop. Another ground ball out for Godley. Let's go down to Jody.
Well, guys, we're talking to Alex Avila today, and he knows quite well, as you guys do, of course, that this starting rotation, and particularly Godley, that curveball, and a few of the guys, they really rely on being able to have hitters chase the ball in the dirt. And so I was talking to Alex about just how he was feeling at this point in the season, and we know the workload hasn't been, you know, really big for Alex with the 3 catchers, but he said good. They take a lot of pride in that, and he knows his offensive season has not been good as far as Alex Avila, but he takes so much pride in being able to be there for those pitchers, knowing he can keep the ball in front of him. And again, because that is a big strength of this rotation, being able to spike those balls and being able to have the hitter go ahead and chase it.
And with a guy like Godley, Jody, you need a guy back there, which is, I think, one reason, Bob, why they've worked so well together, Godley and Avila.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. The 3-headed monster behind the plate for most of the season this year for the D-backs. Only 6 pass balls all year long, and we know how many balls were in the dirt.
It's amazing considering Godley's curveball, Corbin's slider. Renfroe walked his first time, the only walk issued by Godley so far tonight. Always got to be careful with Hunter Renfroe. 12 home runs in his last 31 games. Able to check his swing on that curveball. Renfroe used to be a guy that would swing at anything. They've really been all over him here over the last couple of years to improve his plate discipline. And they've made some progress. It's full 3-2. Didn't want to throw him a fastball. He's walked Renfroe both times he's been up there. Brings up Corey Spangenberg. That snaps a stretch of 8 straight retired by Godley. Spangenberg struck out to end the first.
Renfro even spent some time in AAA this year trying to be a little more selective at the plate, pitch recognition, working counts, knowing when to be aggressive, when to be a little more passive.
That one gets by Marte, rolls into left center. A walk and a single with one out to put two on for the Padres, and here comes A.J. Ellis. Ellis grounded out his first time. A.J. Ellis, 37 years old, the oldest catcher in the majors. And, you know, he's had a pretty good year. .281 batting average, a career high. He's got Renfro at second. Spangenberg, who runs well at first. Only one out. Godley, 50 pitches, 30 strikes. Good fastball there from Zach. That's the pitch with which he really needs to improve. There's been so much emphasis on his outstanding curveball. The fastball has become a bit of a concern. It's been getting knocked around a bit this year. Yanked at that time. Opponents this year hitting Godley's fastball at better than a 300 clip, which is actually about the same as last year. It's the cut fastball that's become a problem. Last season, batters hit .230 against Godley's cutter. This year, they're hitting .352 against the cut fastball. Not getting nearly the swings and misses with a cutter he got last year.
Which is why I think we're seeing Zach throw a lot more two-seam fastballs to complement that cutter. If you can get a fastball that goes both directions and commanded on both sides of the plate to go along with that curveball, you'd really have something.
Because the cutter and the two-seamer move in different directions, right?
Cutter moves slightly away from a right-handed hitter. The two-seam sinking fastball will move back into a right-handed hitter. And like I said, if you can throw those two pitches on the corner, Greg Maddux used to call it drawing X's on the corner.
Punched out to right field, line to Brito. Two down in the fourth. Here's Manuel Margot, the center fielder. Well, Zach has been chasing win number 15 all month long, as we talked about at the top of the show. 0-4 in 4 starts in September. But holding a 4-0 lead here in his final start this year. Curveballs in there for a strike, 0-1. Margot slumping, only 3 for his last 29. His batting average has taken a tumble here in September. And he dunks this one into right center. It drops in for a base hit, gets by Brito and rolls to the wall. This will score 2. Margot headed for third. He's got a 2-run triple. Manuel Margot, just his 4th extra base hit this month, but it cuts the lead in half.
A real shallow line that time by Socrates Brito in right field. I think he thought he might be able to get to that ball initially, but has to turn and run straight back toward the wall as that one gets all the way by him to the warning track, driving home 2.
Well, that goes back to what we referenced just a few minutes ago. Godley, when he runs into trouble, it's almost always in innings 4, 5, or 6. Quickly, it's 4-2. Here's the rookie Javi Guerra, the shortstop. Another run standing 90 feet away with 2 outs.
Brewers have taken a 6-5 lead over the Tigers in the 9th inning. Christian Yelich with another home run. He's tied with Matt Carpenter now for the home run lead in the National League and 2 RBIs behind Javier Baez for the RBI lead.
You know, you go back to last year and what the acquisition in the middle of the season of J.D. Martinez did for the Diamondbacks. The acquisition in the offseason for Milwaukee to get Yelich from Miami. He's been this year's J.D. Martinez. Pitcher spot is up next. Will Myers is in the on-deck circle. Set to hit for the pitcher, Nix. Matt Strom is warming up in the Padre bullpen. And you've got Guerra up there, who is 1 for 15 on the season. And Godley is behind 3-0. Guerra walked as a pinch hitter to lead off the 15th inning last night against Matt Andriese and wound up scoring the winning run when Freddie Galvis hit that walk-off double. Full count, 3-2. Margot still at third after his 2-run triple. 2 outs, 3-2 on Javi Guerra. That's a bullet by Descalso, and it's 4-3. And let's see now, Myers will go back into the dugout. Here's one more look at a hanging curveball. Pitcher spot is up. Myers goes back into the dugout, and Jose Pirela will come out and hit for the pitcher, Jacob Nix. Pirela doubled and homered last night. Here comes Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. Boy, this inning has gotten away from Godley. He'd retired 8 straight. Got Hosmer to start the 4th, and Renfroe a walk. Spangenberg singled after Ellis lined out to right. Margot hit the 2-run triple. Guerra the RBI single, and suddenly it's 4-3.
Little confusion there. Mike Butcher started out to the mound for a meeting, but the pinch hitter had not been officially announced yet. So he slammed on the brakes, went back to the dugout, and waited for Andy Green to signal to the home plate umpire, Gabe Morales, that indeed Jose Pirela is the guy he wanted to pinch hit, and only then did Mike Butcher go out to the mound to review the scouting report.
Well, here is Pirela, 252, 5 homers. He's homered twice in his last 4 games, including last night off Silvino Bracho.
Those are the season numbers for Jose Pirela. However, as a pinch hitter this year, he's 3 for 32. That's an .094 batting average off of Andy Green's bench. Watch that first pitch.
Yeah. Guerra's at first, 2 outs, 3 runs in. Get the fastball in there. Andy Green electing to save Myers' bat on the bench for later in the ball game, and he'll burn Pirela right here. Swing and a miss. Godley strands one, but the Padres get 3.
Petco Park in San Diego. Anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free crunchy beef tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Zach Godley took a 4-0 lead, and in the bottom of the 4th inning, it's now 4-3 D-backs. Left-hander Matt Strahm on from the Padre bullpen. As Eduardo Escobar will bat from the right-hand side to start the 5th. The numbers on Strahm this year, his 41st appearance. He's been outstanding, a 1.96 ERA. So Jacob Nix goes just 4 here tonight. Escobar chases a high fastball, and it's 1-1. He singled his last time up. Escobar's single in the 3rd extends his hitting streak. He's now hit safely in 10 straight. That's fouled back, and it's 2-2. Christian Yelich, who we just mentioned with Milwaukee, has also put together a 10-game hit streak. Strahm gets the strikeout.
Strahm looks a little bit like a poor man's Josh Hader out there. Big left-hander, wingspan, big sweeping breaking ball. Almost clipped Escobar with the first pitch. He chased a fastball up out of the zone, another fastball in. Best pitch to hit was right there. He fouled back here to the press box, and then another slider down and in for strike 3. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
Ketel Marte is grounded out twice, once into a double play. Strahm flipping all these switch hitters around to the right-hand side. There's a strike 0-1. Marte now with a 4-game hitting streak. He's got 8 hits in his last 4 games. Not to mention 4 walks. Check his swing on the slider, 1-1. Marte this year, career highs in hits, doubles, triples, homers, RBIs. He's had a great year. Leads the majors with those 12 triples. Big cut at the changeup, and it's 1-2. Strahm's got a whole bunch of stuff. He's got the fastball, the slider, changeup, curveball. A real 4-pitch mix.
He really hides the ball well, throws across his body a little bit, steps slightly to the first base side as he goes toward home plate, and then throws back across his body, really hiding the ball well.
Big lanky guy, 6'3", 185. Got that fastball in there at 94, a little too far in for Gabe Morales, and it's full 3-2. Matt Strahm out of West Fargo, North Dakota. Pitched community college ball in Chanute, Kansas. There's a little tapper between the mound and first. Shovel toss by Strahm, 2 outs. It's an unusual route to the big leagues out of West Fargo, North Dakota.
What do you suppose baseball season is in West Fargo? About 15 minutes?
I was going to say about 90 minutes, 2 hours.
4 innings, yeah.
They play in the Fargo Dome, maybe. Peralta, 0 for 2. Just goes to show you, if you can play, they will find you.
Was it Brandon Nimmo from the Mets that didn't even play any high school baseball because they didn't play baseball at his school where he grew up in either North or South Dakota, Wyoming, yeah, somewhere. Didn't even have a baseball team at his school.
Roger Maris was from Fargo, North Dakota. Left center field for Manuel Margot. Renfroe takes it, and Strom works a 1-2-3 fifth. D-backs lead at 4-3. Go. D-backs lead the Padres 4-3. This October, hockey and basketball back on Fox Sports Arizona. We start October 4th. The Coyotes are at Dallas at 5 o'clock. October 6th, the home opener in Glendale against the Ducks. That broadcast begins with a 1-hour pregame show at 5. And then October 17th, the Suns are home against the Mavericks at 7. Catch all the action right here on Fox Sports Arizona. The Coyotes and Suns getting set to get going. Freddie Galvis leads off the home half of the 5th against Zach Godley. Galvis so far 0 for 2. This is in the air to center. Here comes John Jay. One down. Godley had a 4-0 lead, got the first out in the 4th, and then ran into trouble. The Padres got 3. 2-run triple by Manuel Margot, an RBI single by Javi Guerra. Here's Franmil Reyes. He's grounded out twice, 0 for 2. And a ground ball. This is tapped to shortstop. Marte is there. That's 8 ground ball outs for Zach Godley so far. 2 down. Brings up Eric Hosmer, who's 1 for 2. Hosmer singled back in the first. Godley trying to get through the 5th. Zach in 4 starts this month has finished 5 full innings only twice. He has not pitched past the 5th inning since the end of August, which was his last win. When he dominated the Giants at San Francisco, that was August 29th. 7 2/3, gave up just 1 run on 2 hits. He has pitched more than 5 innings only once in his last 7 starts. Behind on Hosmer 2-0. 70 pitches, 44 for strikes. There's a strike. Looking for win number 15 to close out 2018. Hosmer has not been driving the ball out to right field, where in this park he'd have a chance to hit some home runs. Instead, he's going the other way an awful lot. He's never a guy who has pulled the ball a whole bunch anyway. But he's got 70 opposite field base hits this year. That's the most in the major leagues. Full count, 3-2. Up the middle by Godley into center. A 2-out single for Eric Hosmer, his second base hit tonight. And here is Renfroe. Godley's been very careful with Renfroe. He's walked him twice.
We well documented Zach Godley's issues falling off the first base side of the mound, occasionally affecting his pitches as he delivers them to home plate, but almost always affecting his defensive fielding position. He always ends up with his back to home plate. That ball wasn't hit particularly hard back up the middle.
And sometimes he falls off the side of that mound toward first base so violently that he's a good 4 steps off the mound.
I mean, for a guy that, as he's proving tonight, can be a lethal sinker ball pitcher, throwing those ground balls one after another after another. Usually pitchers that do that are really good fielders because they know a lot of them are going to come right back up the middle of the field.
There's another one on the ground. Pretty backhand stop by Marte. 9 ground ball outs for Godley. He's through 5, holding a 4-3 lead. Leads the Padres 4-3 as we start the 6th inning at Petco Park. What's next? Brought to you by CenturyLink. Tomorrow is game 162, a matchup of left-handers Robbie Ray and Joey Lucchesi. Now it's an early start tomorrow. Remember, it's the final day of the Major League season, so all the games have to start at the same time, East Coast, West Coast, wherever. So it's a 12:10 first pitch start here in San Diego. Diamondback Live pregame show at 11:30. On Fox Sports Arizona. Descalso has doubled, walked, and scored twice tonight. And there at first base the night off for Goldie. I always think back to that game we finished up a couple of years ago against the Cardinals at Chase Field on the final day of the season, when the Cardinals were desperately in a postseason chase. They clinched a spot about 10 minutes before our game started, and they changed their entire lineup, including the starting pitcher, moments before first pitch. And ever since then, baseball has made sure that all the games on the last day of the season start at the exact same time, no matter where they are. Leadoff single for Descalso. Remember, Adam Wainwright was supposed to start that game. They ran down to the bullpen and tackled him, had him stop warming up. So-and-so lost, we've clinched, we don't need to win this one, and they just put all the subs in at the last second. And we spent the first 3 innings of that ball game filling our scorebooks in with the correct lineups. Here's Brito, who has walked and lined out to short. Broken bat, and it's at second base for Galvis. Well, he gets a souvenir out of the deal anyway.
Tent peg.
Stuck in the screen. Look at the end of that bat. You don't think that screen has value? Imagine that thing coming flying into the stands at you. It's like a spear.
I was at the ballpark down in Miami working for the Cubs back in the day when Tyler Colvin was leading off third base. The ball was put into play. He was watching the flight of the baseball running toward home plate, and that sharp barrel of the bat pierced his chest, punctured a lung, broke a rib.
Big night for Ildemaro Vargas, an RBI single and a 2-run home run. His first major league homer. Here it is in the 4th off Jacob Nix. And they looked like they were able to retrieve the baseball for him. There was a security person out there negotiating with the fan who caught it. So hopefully the D-backs have that in their possession. Vargas, a switch hitter, now spins around and bats right-handed. Vargas has a very similar story to David Peralta. Diamondbacks found him playing independent ball. And like Peralta, Vargas started out in the Cardinals organization. He signed him when he was 16 years old out of Venezuela, but he never made it past Double-A with St. Louis. Chris Carminucci, the scout that found Peralta in independent ball, found Vargas playing for the Bridgeport Bluefish in the Atlantic League. They saw him as this guy's a switch hitter. He's a line drive, gap to gap type guy, makes contact consistently, takes his walks. And here he is in the big leagues after parts of 10 seasons in the minors. And Vargas ahead 3-1, looking down to Tony Perez-Chica at third. Alex Avila, the on-deck hitter. Fastball is in. Vargas aboard for the 3rd time in 3 plate appearances tonight. He has singled, homered, and walked. 2 on, 1 out for Avila, who has walked and singled. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, on the phone. First walk issued by Matt Strahm out there for his 2nd inning in relief. Bullpen will get busy for the Padres. Pitcher spot up next. Godley in the on-deck circle. Fastball misses low. Wing enter. The right-hander starts to get the wing loose. We've seen him a few times this year. A.J. Ellis out to talk to his left-hander. Descalso is the runner at second. Vargas at first. 1 out. D-backs 4 runs, 6 hits. Padres 3 runs, 5 hits. Strom has not been nearly as effective in this second inning of work as he was in a 1-2-3 fifth. Behind on Avila 2-0 after he walked Vargas. Alex drives this one to center. Manuel Margot near the warning track, and he's got it. Descalso tags and heads for third. 2 down, and Godley will hit. They're on the corners with 2 outs for Godley. See if Zach can punch one through here. Fastball is up 1-0.
He figures to be tardy on anything with any velocity on it. And there's a big hole in the right side of the field right now with Hosmer holding on the runner and Freddie Galvis cheating up the middle of the field just a little bit. Big hole on the right side.
And Strom is having trouble throwing strikes so far. 13 balls, 13 strikes. Vargas gets a big jump. No throw from Ellis. That one's in there. And it's a stolen base for Ildemaro Vargas. He's having a career night here tonight. Boy, Strom never even looked over there.
Yeah, never really made him come to a complete stop. Vargas was late getting off the bag and had some momentum going towards second base and just kept going.
Godley trying to bunt his way on. Fouls it back. Remember, the Diamondbacks, counting starter Patrick Corbin, used 10 pitchers in last night's ball game. So it was a tired and overworked bullpen to begin with before last night's 5-hour and 2-minute game. So if you're thinking, why not hit for Godley here? Bullpen back there could use a break. Maybe try and extend Zach at least one more inning. Hacks at one, and it's in the seats out of play.
Yeah, that steal of second base by Vargas, not something you would normally do with 2 outs in the inning and the pitcher at the plate. If you do happen to get thrown out, Zach Godley's leading off again the next time the Diamondbacks come to the plate in the 7th, but Vargas had such a huge jump. There was no chance for Ellis to throw him out at second base.
Very unusual against a lefty. You were just talking about that the other night. There's almost no excuse for a left-hander not to have a good pickoff move, but Strom was not paying attention, it seemed like.
I think because he's having so much trouble finding the zone here in this inning, he's just really focused on A.J. Ellis and that target behind home plate and completely disregarded Vargas over at first.
Jay Wood be next. Second and third. 2 outs, 2-2 on Zach Godley. Just inside with a fastball, almost hit him, and Godley has worked it full.
I got a feeling, partner. I think we're going to get a foul ball up here sometime either tonight or tomorrow.
Well, we just missed one last night. I like where you're headed. I think it hit your audio box.
Just down below us, yeah.
Had some audio problems, and I think we know the reason why. 3-2. And Zach Godley, a tremendous at bat. Spoiled a couple of pretty good pitches, works a walk, and now they're loaded for Jay. Here comes Andy Green. He's seen enough. You've got the left-hand pitcher out there for the left-hand batter. No sign from Greeny as of yet. And there it is. D-backs with the bases full back after this.
Chase here with 2 outs in the inning, but to chase Matt Strom from this ball game, took a little off at 92. That's where he tried to bunt for the base hit right there. Now he just goes to work, fouling off borderline pitches, taking the ones that are out of the zone. That one was very close down and in. And takes a fastball off the plate inside, takes off his ankle guard, heads on down to first base like he knew what he was doing. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
And because of that Godley plate appearance, John Jay will now bat with the bases full and 2 down against the right-hander Trey Wingenter. Big strike thrower. He's got a fastball and a slider. His 22nd appearance of the year. Jay, the leadoff hitter so far tonight, 0 for 3. Fastball sails up and away. Descalso's at third. Vargas at second. Godley at first. Missed at 97. It's 2-0. Jay's had a slow month at the plate, hitting under 190 in September. Wingenter cannot throw a strike. It's 3-0. These are all fastballs he's missing with. One more and it's a 2-run D-back lead. Escobar on deck. Well, he came in, bases loaded, 2 down, walked in a run on 4 pitches. Descalso is home, and it's 5-3 Diamondbacks. We walk in with some tacos for you.
Outstanding, and a big tip of the cap to Zach Godley to keeping the inning going, drawing that base on balls against Strom. John Jay goes up there, doesn't get anything close to the strike zone to hit. The inning continues.
Third walk in the inning issued by Padre pitching. Here's Escobar now, who singled in the third. He's 1 for 3.
Man, that walk by Godley, that's what Torres talked about for 2 years, building an inning. And sometimes it's the pitcher that puts together a good at bat, either gets a base hit or extends that guy out there on the mound, runs up his pitch count. In this case, drew a base on balls to set it up for John Jay.
Escobar hits a bouncer to second. Galvis collects that one. High throw. Hosmer's got it. But the D-backs tack on a run. They lead in San Diego 5-3. Bottom six at Petco Park. Steve Berthew, Bob Renly, Jody Jackson with you. D-backs lead the Padres 5-3. And remember, fans, if you want to get season tickets for next year, now is the time. Make sure you get tickets to the Red Sox and Yankees when they come visiting next season. The D-backs 2019 season schedule is out right now. And D-backs season ticket holders get tons of perks, including early entry into the ballpark, concession discounts, access to exclusive events, and a whole lot more. Become a D-backs season ticket holder. D-backs.com/season tickets. Our home opener next year at Chase Field is against Michael Brenly's Boston Red Sox. Didi Gregorius and the Yankees will be in town as well.
Yeah.
Well, Zach Godley will face Corey Spangenberg to lead off the bottom of the sixth inning. Godley has lasted more than 5 innings only once in his last 7 starts, but he's out there to start the sixth. Spangenberg has struck out, singled, and scored a run, 1 for 2.
And talking about the Yankees, they picked up their 100th win of the season this year. First time ever 3 teams in the same league with more than 100 wins.
Did you see the dude or the bro in the monster seats at Fenway Park who caught a Giancarlo Stanton home run ball, picked it up, threw it back onto the field, and hit Stanton with the ball that Stanton had hit as he was rounding second base?
I did see that.
It was a tremendous throw. It was a stupid thing to do, but it was a tremendous throw, and he hit him right in the shoulder.
He's probably good friends with the guys
banner
that found
guys.
The banner. Yeah.
With my man here. You know, if you want to get the home run ball, and I mean, there are some ballparks we go to where if you catch the opponent's home run ball and throw it back onto the field, you are ejected. They don't want people throwing stuff onto the field for obvious reasons. But boy, that guy. I mean, Giancarlo's a big dude. But that was a long throw. Godley 80 pitches, 51 for strikes.
Well, with the postseason right around the corner, one thing you will see in postseason baseball is real tough visibility at some of these ballparks because of the start times.
Oh, yeah. Well, the TV networks. Godley, there's that big curveball. Strikes out Spangenberg. 4 strikeouts for Zach.
Zach continues to cruise along here. Big curveball caught the top of the zone right there. Another one down and in. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's 3 in a row. Missed with a fastball up high. Little sinker off the outside corner, and then finishes him off with a breaking ball down and in. Our Nationwide Vision Center's eye on the game.
A.J. Ellis, the catcher, 0 for 2. Starts him out with a curveball for a strike. Well, this is falling in line with what has become one of Zach Godley's patterns, is that he usually runs into a very bumpy inning, oftentimes 3rd, 4th, maybe the 5th, and if he can survive it, he's oftentimes fine the rest of the way. And Zach gave up those 3 runs in the 4th. Faced only 4 batters in the 5th. He struck out Spangenberg to open the 6th, and now he's ahead of Ellis 0-2. So it looks like he's under control after he was on the ropes a bit there in the 4th inning. Rockies are still losing at home against Washington. Nationals with a 6-2 lead. They're in the 7th. Dodgers 10-6 winners at San Francisco earlier today. They beat the Giants. And the Brewers lead the Tigers at Miller Park in Milwaukee. And we are headed toward an unbelievable final day of the season tomorrow if these scores hold. So the Dodgers have won. If the Rockies lose, both Colorado and Los Angeles will be 90 and 71, tied for the NL West lead with 1 game to play. And if the Brewers win, Milwaukee and the Cubs will be 94 and 67, tied for the NL Central lead with 1 game to play. Cubs beat the Cardinals earlier today, or was it vice versa?
Cardinals beat the Cubs 2-1. Yeah. And once again, we'd be remiss if we didn't point out that the Twins beat the White Sox again today. 8-3 the final.
Not sure remiss is the right word, but
well, there's got to be some Twins fans out there, some White Sox fans tuning in tonight.
Godley goes to the curveball, gets his 5th strikeout.
He's had pretty good command of that pitch all night long. As you said, occasionally there's an inning or a couple of innings where some of those curveballs will only go about 55 feet and bounce way out in front of home plate. We haven't seen him spike more than a couple in the ball game tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. He has walked 2, both times Hunter Renfroe, being careful with Renfroe. And those are the only 2 bases on balls. There's a strike to Margot with a fastball. And well, Margot, a 2-run triple his last time up. Scored on a Javi Guerra RBI single that at the time made it 4-3. After the D-backs had a 4-0 lead. Well, how about the battle in Bob Melvin's? What are they at? They're winning tonight. If they win tonight, it'll be 97 wins. They could win 98 games, the Oakland A's. How about that? They're headed to the wild card game against the Yankees in the American League. Right now, Oakland leads at Anaheim. Boy, the A's are 96 and 64.
Boy, how about for Oakland? They were 10 games over 500 against the East this year.
Deep to right center. John Jay runs it down just shy of the wall out there. Margot gave it a ride. Godley threw 6 with a 5-3 lead.
Ball game tonight. D-backs lead the Padres 5-3 as we head to the top half of the 7th inning. The day after every D-backs win, get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
We've seen a bunch of D-backs fans here on the final weekend of the regular season. A lot of folks made the trip from the Valley. Ketel Marte leads off the 7th against Trey Wingenter. Marte so far 0 for 3.
That's final. Brewers beat the Tigers 6-5 tonight.
How about that? So if the Rockies lose their game against Washington and they're trailing at home, you'll have a tie for the NL West and NL Central leads with only one game to play heading into tomorrow. Cubs and Brewers both 94 and 67. And so the loser of those two games, either the Cubs, Brewers, Dodgers, or Rockies, would get the 2 wild card spots. So either way, they're all in regardless. Nice pick by Ellis. Marte strikes out, 1 down.
After a shaky start to his evening, Wingenter starting to find the strike zone a little more consistently.
Peralta's 0 for 3. David in the cleanup spot tonight. Now first pitch fastball, but missed it 0-1. 6-5 was the final. Brewers beat the Tigers. Rockies still trailed the Nationals 6-2. They're in the 7th inning at Coors Field. Shelby Miller starts to get it cranked up. As Jody told us earlier, we expect to see Shelby make an appearance here tonight in relief, about somewhere between 15 and 20 pitches, give or take. Did that guy catch that?
No.
Oh,
it would have been a great catch.
it would have been. There was a fan with a glove falling backward into his seat who just missed it. Here's Shelby. That's a great sight. Just something for him to take away from this year as a positive heading into the offseason. There's a gentleman right in front of us that almost made a tremendous catch. Well, bouncer slowly hit up the first base line. Hosmer's got to hurry, and they just do get Peralta.
It was almost one of those tweeners, Wingenter and Hosmer. Who's going to take it? Hosmer gets to the ball and just does get a toe on the bag before David went streaking by.
Well, Descalso is the first baseman tonight. And he's had a very solid night. He has doubled, walked, singled, and scored 3 times. How about the Diamondbacks 5 through 8 hitters tonight? 5, 4, 8. See what they did there?
Okay. I like it.
4 walks, 5 runs. Two 2-0 on Daniel Descalso. Descalso drives one at Reyes in right field. He reaches up and catches it just shy of the wall. We stretch in San Diego, 5-3 Diamondbacks.
Here in San Diego, Shelby was last seen in Colorado July 11th, leaving with elbow inflammation. 4 starts back from his return from Tommy John, and Shelby talked to me today. He said he's actually been dealing with a stiff neck the last 3 weeks, and so he might have been activated a couple of days ago, guys, but that was bothering him. But his arm, he said, feels great, and he is looking to be able to go into the offseason just getting a couple of outs. He was excited today when I spoke to him in the clubhouse. He's worked very hard to get back to this point. And the reality is maybe that elbow just needed a little bit more rest. But Shelby was excited to get back out there. He wishes, of course, the games meant more at this point. It was hard for him to watch the team and not be able to help. But he's looking to end 2018 on a positive note right now.
Avi Guerra will lead it off for the Padres in the bottom of the 7th inning. Pitcher spot behind him, and Francisco Mejia is in the on-deck circle. There's a fastball from Shelby Miller for a strike. Guerra had an RBI single in that 3-run San Diego 4th. He's 1 for 2. Good to have Shelby back out there on the mound. Just something positive to take into the offseason for him. Good zip on that fastball at 95.
And Shelby has pitched 6 games out of the bullpen over the course of his career to a 2.08 ERA. Only 8 2/3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs, but struck out 9 batters.
He was telling Joe the other day it'd just be nice to go out there and just compete for an inning, even if it doesn't mean anything in the standings or in terms of the postseason spot, but just to be out there is a win at this point for him with all he's been through the last 2 years. Mejia would hit for the pitcher wing enter. Shelby trying a breaking ball, and it's full 3-2. Missed with a fastball. He loses Guerra, and Mejia will hit for the pitcher. Mejia's got the donut stuck on the bat. Now Galvis has to get it off for him. here is Francisco Mejia, who caught all 15 innings in the ball game last night. He was 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. Mike Butcher on the phone. 185 with 3 home runs. Tried a curveball that time, 1-0.
You know, I get all the warm and fuzzies having Shelby back out on the mound as a reward for all his hard work throughout the rehab of the elbow injury. But the realist in me says he shouldn't be on the mound right now. What's the upside? Other than just to give him a bone at the end of the season for all of his hard work. I just think the risk isn't worth the reward to me personally. Especially if you're counting on Shelby to be a big part of your rotation moving forward. I would think you'd be better served by having him go through a full off season of rehab and strengthening that right arm. Come back into spring training as close to 100% as he's ever going to be.
1-1 on Mejia. 94 caught the corner. 1-2. There's also the matter of finishing 2018 with a winning record. Mejia is the tying run at the plate. D-backs with only 2 games left, counting this one, need to win at least 1 to assure themselves of a winning record in 2018.
Yeah, as soon as Guerra got down to first base after that leadoff walk, the Diamondbacks bullpen sprang into action down there. I believe it's Brad Ziegler that's throwing down there right now.
Here's a bouncing ball to second. Vargas starts it and Marte turns it quickly. 2 down. Tomorrow Vargas, an outstanding middle infield defender, got that one started. And the bases are empty for Freddie Galvis. There's Brad Ziegler. I talked to Brad after the game last night. I said, you're going to pitch again next year? He's getting up there a little bit. He said, you know what? We decided not to even think about that until after this year. So he's going to evaluate things after a couple of weeks this winter and see what he wants to do next year. He could probably pitch till he's 50.
Boy, and you know, for what he brings to a pitching staff, everybody's looking for a guy like Brad Ziegler.
You better believe it.
Unorthodox delivery, throws nothing but ground ball after ground ball after ground ball. You can pitch him 4 or 5 days a week if necessary. I would believe there would be a lot of teams lined up for Brad Ziegler's services.
That's what I figured. Shelby a chance to finish off with a flourish here and get Galvis. It's 1-2 and a curveball. Galvis 0 for 3 tonight. Reyes on deck. Too far away with a fastball, and it's full 3-2. The second 3-2 count for Shelby here. 15 pitches. Remember, they want to keep them 20-22 max. Three-2 to Freddie Galvis. This is hit deep to right field. Brito on the warning track, and he runs it down. Socrates Brito. Welcome back, Shelby Miller. D-backs lead 5-3. Shelby is returned to a big league mound. Galvis gave this a ride out toward right center. Brito tracks it down. And the return of Shelby Miller in 2018. Our Chaz Roberts air conditioning and plumbing pool play of the game. That's a sight for sore eyes. So we head to the top of the 8th inning here at Petco Park. D-backs lead at 5-3. Right-hander Kazuhisa Makita is on for San Diego. This guy has an average pitch velocity of 77 miles an hour. And yet, he's got 35 strikeouts in 33 innings. Slow ball at 60. That's a curve to Socrates Brito, who leads off the 8th. Now that, believe it or not, was a fastball.
At 80.
Brito walked and scored in the second. He's 0 for 2. He's lined out twice. Look out. 80-mile-an-hour brushback pitch. This is hit in the air, right center. Margot drifting over there. He's got it. Andy Green used 8 relief pitchers of the ball game last night. Makita was not among them. Here is Ildemaro Vargas, who's had a career day. The start at second base, an RBI single in the second. His first big league home run in the 4th, a 2-run shot. He walked and stole a base his last time up. Also made a couple of nice defensive plays. Vargas earlier this year with Reno had that 35-game hitting streak, a Reno Aces record. He wore the same pair of batting gloves in all 35 games during his streak. Even after they wore out, had holes in the hands. He nicknamed the batting gloves "My Baby." Shallow center, Margot runs it down. So to try and save some life and some wear and tear on the gloves, Vargas would take them off during the streak after he got each base hit to extend the streak, and then he'd use a different pair the rest of that game, and then the next day he'd go back to the lucky batting gloves. The My Babies. Here's Avila. Base is empty, 2 down.
I bet he still has those batting gloves somewhere.
Oh, you got to believe it. I wonder actually if he's wearing them tonight. Based on what he's done with a RBI single and a 2-run homer, wouldn't be surprised. Well, the Padres load up the right-hand side against Avila, who has walked and singled. They've got Galvis, the second baseman, well back in right field. 3 infielders on the first base side.
If you think about it, it's pretty hard not to get out in front of a Makita delivery.
Yeah.
Left-handers are probably going to hit it to the right side.
The patience of Job against this guy. 59 miles an hour, 5.9 on the curveball. How about that? Fastball at 81, missed. It's 3-1. Pitcher spot up next. There's Chris Owings in the on-deck circle. D-backs have out-hit the Padres 6-5. They lead at 5-3. Fastball blew it right by him at 82. And it's full. Nationals now have a 9-2 lead over the Rockies at Coors Field. They're in the 8th inning. Dodgers beat the Giants earlier today at San Francisco. Well, there it is. That's why he's got more strikeouts than innings pitched this year. He works a 1-2-3-8. 5-3 D-backs. D-backs lead the Padres 5-3. You can check out the D-backs 2019 season schedule right now. Download the MLB Ballpark app or visit dbacks.com to see next year's schedule. I believe we open up at Dodger Stadium. The home opener is against the Red Sox at Chase Field. Brad Ziegler on to start the bottom of the 8th inning. Franmil Reyes, Eric Hosmer, Hunter Renfroe, 2, 3, and 4 due up for San Diego. Brad's 82nd appearance this year. He is 38 years old. He'll be 39 in just about 2 weeks. And has not made up his mind yet as to whether he will be back next year with someone. So there's a chance, a small chance maybe, that this could be it for Brad Ziegler. He and Christian have to have that discussion. Barehanded at shortstop. Ketel Marte throws out Reyes, one down. Let's go down to Jody.
Well, Steve had a similar conversation with Brad, and he said, you know, he definitely feels like he can pitch. It's just he's got to put so much work in the training room to get his body where it needs to be at 38. But it's interesting, Torey Lovullo said he asked for this 82nd appearance on the season. And Torey said, hey, when the big man runs the floor, you got to feed him. I'm going to dish it to him if he wants it one more time. He didn't really know why, but it's interesting. Brad told me it's been cool to pitch in half the games of a baseball season. And I know it was his daughter's birthday yesterday. He's got some family here. It's never a bad thing for Brad to get on the mound. He loves pitching, and I would find it hard to see him hanging it up, but you never know.
He's still as effective as ever, that's for sure, Jody. Here's Hosmer. Brad will be 39 years old October 10th. Now in his 11th big league season. He didn't break into the major leagues until he was 28 with the Oakland A's 10 years ago. That was 2008.
Just my own opinion, but I think it's a little tougher to pitch that deep into your years as a relief pitcher.
As the up, down, up, down,
yeah,
up, down.
And as a starter, you know you're going to pitch every 5th day. You're on a very strict schedule, many times on a strict pitch limit when you take the mound as a starting pitcher. But as a reliever, whenever that phone rings, it might be you.
And if you're Brad Ziegler, it usually is.
It usually is. I was just going to say that.
It's been an interesting 8th inning here with Makita and Ziegler, given their two unique styles on the mound. Hosmer sends it out to Peralta deep to left field at the wall, and it's gone. The 18th for Eric Hosmer makes it a one-run ball game. Another opposite field hit, and this one's in the seats and left.
Yeah, Brad tried to throw that slider to the outside corner, just catches just a little bit too much of the plate that time, and with Hosmer's opposite field swing, he barrels it up over the head of David Peralta into the bleachers in left field.
He has more opposite field base hits than any hitter in the majors, Eric Hosmer. And he makes it a 5-4 ball game. Here's Renfroe, who has walked twice and scored a run today. Renfroe up there hunting for fastballs. D-backs need to hang on and win this one. Should they lose it, they would be 81-80 heading into tomorrow's season finale. Jake Diekman, the left-hander. And a sweep by the Padres would leave the Diamondbacks with a .500 record for the year. D-backs this season lead the season series with San Diego 11-6. They are 6-2 here at Petco Park this year. Hard to the mound. Ziegler's got it. And that's the second out here in the 8th.
We were just talking about that earlier in reference to Zach Godley not being in great defensive position after releasing the ball. Well, Brad Ziegler, being a sidearm sinker ball pitcher, is always ready for that ball to come back to the mound.
Spangenberg is the hitter. Diekman, the lefty, ready in the bullpen. Torey Lovullo will take the baseball. And we will take a break. It's a 5-4 D-backs lead in San Diego. Of the year makes it a one-run D-back lead. And left-hander Jake Diekman on to get the final out of the Padres' 8th inning. He's on to face the third baseman Corey Spangenberg, appearance number 71 on the year for Jake Diekman. Spangenberg is a guy who usually gets shielded from lefties. He has not seen a whole lot of left-hand pitching this year.
And he's never seen Jake Diekman before. He was 2 for 5 against Brad Ziegler with a homer and a walk, so all the more reason to make the change right here and go to the left.
Yeah, Spangenberg just under 70 plate appearances against lefties. You see the batting average, 127. Base is empty, 2 down. Spangenberg has singled and struck out twice, 1 for 3. Fastballs right there at the knees, 1-1. Back to the breaking ball, 1-2. A.J. Ellis, the catcher, would be next. D-backs will have the pitcher spot leading off the 9th inning. Then it's John Jay and Eduardo Escobar. 1-2 on Corey Spangenberg. That's fair at third. It gets behind Escobar. It short hopped him under the glove. And Spangenberg has a 2-out single. Or he's aboard anyway.
Escobar is usually really good to his backhand side. That was kind of an in-between hop that time. Couldn't quite get to it quickly enough to smother it right off the dirt.
He scored a base hit for Spangenberg. And Ellis is the hitter. A.J. Ellis, the veteran catcher, 0 for 3. Tying run is at first base with 2 outs in the 8th. Spangenberg has pretty good speed down there as well. He's a good base runner. Skip Schumacher coaching at first. This game, another example of what has worn down this D-back bullpen. Just time and time again, these relievers are out there with little to no room for error. You pitch that way for 5-6 months, it just beats you down, and that's where the bullpen has been in September. D-backs have been out hit tonight 7-6, but they are hanging on to a 5-4 lead. Fastball fouled back. It's 1-2. Good job by Avila to keep that slider in front. 2-2 on A.J. Ellis. And well, Margot, who had a 2-run triple in the 4th, would be next. Fastball misses in, and Diekman has run it full 3-2. Well, Jake got the ground ball he wanted off the bat of Spangenberg. It went under the glove of Escobar. Ruled an infield hit. But now he's going to have to work here not to lose Ellis. There goes Spangenberg. Ellis pops it up along the line. Long run for Vargas. And he's got it. But Hosmer's homer makes it a 1-run D-back lead. River game summary. Zach Godley's 6 innings. Big day for Ildemaro Vargas, an RBI single and a 2-run home run, his first career major league homer. Shelby Miller got 3 outs. And now Chris Owings will hit for the pitcher. Jake Diekman will lead off the 9th inning against Kazuhisa Makita. So it's Owings, Jay, Escobar, 9-1-2 in the Diamondback 9th. CO 209 and 4 homers. He singled and scored a run in a start in right field last night.
Nine times before tonight, Makita has been asked to go more than 1 inning in a ball game. 8 of those 9 times he's put zeros up. The one time he did not was against the Diamondbacks.
Well, he's ahead of Owings 0-2. Makita coming off a 1-2-3-8. Yoshihisa Hirano starts to warm up in the Diamondback bullpen.
Now he had a 2-inning appearance against the Diamondbacks back in July, it looks like. Went 2 innings, gave up 7 runs, 5 earned on 5 hits.
It's Owings to pop it up. Ellis is underneath and foul ground all away. 4 up, 4 down for Makita. Here's John Jay. Jay drew a bases loaded walk for an RBI in the 6th, and right now that run is the difference.
And once again, the walk to Zach Godley preceding that walk was a big at bat in the ball game.
Looks like Yoshi will get the 9th. Padres will have the lower third of the order due up. There's a strike to Jay. That'll be Margot, Guerra, and the pitcher spot 7, 8, 9. 60 miles an hour floats up there. A curveball for Makita, and it's 0-2. I mean, they don't even see these velocities in batting practice. It's got to be a tremendous adjustment.
Well, not to mention the funky arm angle. I mean, Brad Ziegler's a sidearm pitcher. This is way down underneath, submarine.
Where that one was. Fastball at 81. Jay almost had to jump up to get a bat on that one. Swing and a miss. Makita has set down all 5 he's faced. His second strikeout. Here's a look at what you're looking at.
Yeah, hitters are so conditioned to look above a pitcher's throwing shoulder to find the release point. You've got to look down near his shoelaces to find the release point for Makita.
2 down, bases empty for Eduardo Escobar, who singled in the 3rd, 1 for 4. Escobar almost fell over waiting for that one to get to home plate. 1-0.
Count to 3 and swing.
60-mile-an-hour curveball.
You know, one thing I find not odd, it's not really funny, it's just a reality of the game nowadays. Not one Diamondbacks hitter has moved up closer to the pitcher. I mean, that's something that was pretty commonplace back in the day. If you had a guy on the mound that was a soft tosser, you'd move a little closer to the mound. If you had somebody that was blowing it up there in the high 90s, you'd back up as far away from the mound as you could possibly get to give yourself a little time to see the pitch. But when a guy was throwing slowly, you always moved up to the front of the box. Padres used to have a left-hander, his name, believe it or not, Daniel Boone. And Daniel Boone was a little lefty that threw in the low 80s and the high 70s, and Jack Clark used to get a running start against him. He'd start on the far back line of the batter's box, and as the pitch was being delivered, he'd literally take a crow hop into his swing.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, end up in the front of the batter's box.
Still 3-2 on Escobar. That one is by Spangenberg at third. It goes up the line. And Renfroe can't find it in the corner. Escobar stops at second, a 2-out double. His second hit tonight. Kind of punched it by Spangenberg at third.
Yeah, just tough to get around on that 80-mile-an-hour fastball. Shoots it right down that third baseline. Nice piece of defensive hitting that time. Gets it by Spangenberg. Renfroe had some issues out there in the left field corner, but Escobar holds up at second with his 48th double of the season. Love to see him get 2 tomorrow.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Ketel Marte 0 for 4. Kind of chops at that one, fouled away. Chance to make it a 2-run lead heading into the bottom of the ninth with Hirano warming up in the bullpen.
Escobar's only 3 behind Alex Bregman for the major league lead in doubles this year. Bregman with 51.
They've got Marte up there now, who leads the majors in triples. D-backs lead at 5-4, each team with 7 hits. Diamondbacks have left 6 runners on base. Padres have stranded 5. Lines it right to Guerra at shortstop. Yoshihisa Hirano with a 5-4 lead, bottom 9 on the way. Ensuring themselves a winning record in 2018. A chance to even this series at 1 game apiece. And here's Yoshi Hirano on to get the final 3 outs with a 5-4 lead, his 75th appearance of the year. Lower third of the order due up for San Diego. Manuel Margot will lead it off. Will Myers is out there in the on-deck circle. Looks like he might hit for Javi Guerra. And then it would be the pitcher spot behind him. So Hirano gets the save opportunity. Margot had a 2-run triple in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. He'll start it off. Torey Lovullo playing spin the wheel for a closer toward the end of this season. And tonight it lands on Yoshi Hirano. Archie Bradley got the save opportunity in the 12th inning last night, gave up the game-tying 2-out home run to Hunter Renfroe. And tonight it's Yoshi. That one reaches the seats behind the Padre dugout, and it's 0-2.
How about this, partner? My road staff is so on top of it.
Well, they always are.
Hirano and Makita, both from Japan. They were born 174 miles from each other.
Well, Japan's not that big a country.
Well, I guess so.
It's like from here to LA, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. Way better than our home staff. Oh, Hirano comes up with a splitter. Margot can't lay off. And Yoshi gets a strikeout, one away. Cody Jackson standing by. Diamondbacks live postgame show follows our ball game. Will Myers will hit for the shortstop Javi Guerra. Myers 254 and 11 homers. And the pitcher spot is behind him, Austin Hedges, in the on-deck circle. Myers was at third base last night. He went 0 for 5 in that marathon. He walked in his final plate appearance in the 13th inning last night. Bounce to third. Escobar's got it. Low throw. Nice scoop by Descalso. 2 outs. And Hedges will hit for the pitcher Makita. Austin Hedges 235, 14 home runs, last man standing for the Padres. You see those 14 homers, 10 of those have come since the All-Star break. D-backs will put 3 infielders on the left-hand side. Vargas, the second baseman, almost right behind the bag up the middle. Yoshi bounces a splitter up there, 1-0. Hedges right now just 3 for his last 25 at the plate. He struck out as a pinch hitter last night. Behind second, Vargas drifting out there, and Yoshi works a 1-2-3 ninth inning. Diamondbacks win it 5-4. They improved to 82 and 79, assuring Torey Lovullo of at least a winning record in 2018.
It's been a long time since we've seen a nice clean ball game like that. Bullpen shut the door after the home run surrendered by Brad Ziegler on a sinker down to Eric Hosmer, but nice clean ball game tonight. Killer Bees.
Godley gets his 15th win. He's been chasing that all month long. They even the series with the Padres at a game apiece, with Robbie Ray set to start the season finale here tomorrow at 12:10 local time. Up next, D-backs Live, brought to you by CenturyLink.